evening, everybody. I do apologize for the inconsistent start times for the last little while. Today was a bit of a weird one, so I did have a late night at work, um, which, it's a tough one. I have been kind of conscious of the fact that the stream does suffer when I stay late at work. Part of the problem is definitely the commute. And I will also be clear, like work has definitely put a pretty specific effort into making sure that I don't sort of burn out or that I don't overdo it. But I think there is also something to be said, especially kind of given the nature of some of the stuff that I'm working on right now. There is a big benefit to me sort of getting through a set of things that I sort of have set out for myself. It's a little hard to explain, but um, I am finding that momentum counts for quite a bit in terms of the work that I do. So what I mean by that is, like, let's say I have an hour long task, and let's say I start that task in uh, the first half of that, half an hour before I'm supposed to go home. I will find that it will take me more than a half hour when I return to work, whether I do that first thing in the day or, um, later on. It's not really a time of work or tiredness sort of thing. It's just the idea of being able to sort of put this focused attention into it. Oddly enough, actually, that's one thing that my coworkers are able to sort of take advantage of in terms of work from home. And I've stopped doing that for a bit just simply because I'm part of a meeting in the morning, which is really good, but I haven't really worked out a proper schedule with people yet. So essentially, what this translates to is I have a larger commitment in terms of time for work on some days, and I'm sure to sort of balance that out in other ways. Like I said, the workplace is actually quite conscious of the time that I put in, and they want to make sure that I'm working in a way that's sustainable over the long term. But also, I think I got to work a little bit on my mic positioning. Hopefully, that's a little bit better for folks. But the work still needs to get done, and sometimes it's better for me to do it over, in a solid block of work when I'm at my peak. And what that really translates into is, um, like sometimes when it's a stream day, the um, sort of the move to, like, the commute sort of dampens the chances of getting a stream done on time. And then of course there's all the other associated things, like when you get home you kind of need to, like, you want to have dinner, you want to sort of get everything done. So, and then I did go for a walk before I went home and went to get a coffee, and it literally took 20 minutes for the place to get the coffee. So, which, it's not ideal, but I also am not the type of person to get nasty with service staff. So, bit of an adventure, but we're here now. And I don't know. The reason why I actually wanted to bring up the coffee thing was, like, there are definitely ways that people can say sorry. Like, I guess it's nice to hear a sorry no matter, but, like, if it's just an empty word, like if it's the thing that you say because you have to, like, I don't know, it's never really meant that much to me. So, like, if somebody, like, I don't know what happened, like, I think they just forgot, but it's like, maybe the sorry doesn't seem that sincere. And I'm kind of conscious of the fact that, when I have these kinds of inconsistent starts, and when there isn't necessarily sort of a game plan in place to make sure that the stream sort of starts at 7 on the dot, or even in the case of the Fridays, right? Like, it's a pretty wide range of times that I've started lately. Um, I realize that it can sound very insincere when I say sorry for the inconsistency or sorry for being late. It is actually something I do genuinely I do genuinely feel bad about. And the only thing that I can really say about this is like, it's a hobby that I want to take seriously. It's a hobby that I'm sort of aware of that people are still subscribing for. And it's one that I intend to continue to take seriously, but it is also, for me, important to remember that, like, there is still sort of the overall priority, right? Like, if the apartment were to be burning down, I would also skip the stream, right? So in this case, I will delay, I won't skip. But the other thing is that ideally, if I'm streaming well, I'll have something interesting to say, and of course that work experience, the stuff that I see outside, the books that I read, all of this stuff that's not streaming, in my view, is the fuel that allows me to say any of that stuff. So it's not ideal. It's something that I want to work a little bit smarter on, I guess would be the right way to say it. But I do appreciate those of you who are sticking around despite my inconsistent starts on Fridays. Let us return to Cyberpunk. I believe we just got a new face.
We've got some important guests in Dogtown. Hereby my personal invitation. Stay out of their way. They will be welcome to the Black Sapphire. The event is invitation only. No invite? Keep out if you know what's good for you.
If you can just bear with me 1 second here. I'm going to tab out, get something set up. All right. Well, I'm not going to turn down an opportunity to... Not going to turn down an opportunity to get a car. We can call Reed after.
Great. Now grab the delivery cords and drive.
Now I will confess, the responses seem a little sluggish. I'm hoping that maybe if we get to... Oh, it's starting to improve. I'm hoping maybe once we get to Night City proper, we can see an improvement in the performance. I do know sometimes if I reset my computer before streaming, I'll get a better result. The catch is that I've already done that. I did reset before I started the stream. So what we're going to do is we'll run around Night City for a little bit. I don't think I'm going to complete the mission like this. I think I might reset if it comes down to... Actually, I guess I have to complete the mission first.
Client's got a strict deadline. Seems he's on his way out at NC. Need you to Delta Skelter me.
That's a little bit better. I might try the map trick a little bit, though. I was doing a little bit of reading on rendering engines recently. I already screwed this up. But this has kind of been a bit of a longer term.
Just a request. Don't bang around.
Oh, Jesus.
Believe in you, Chupata.
All right. Well, we do sort of have enough time. But yeah, one thing I'm a little conscious of, and I do talk about this more than I really should on the stream, but I know there's a little bit more understanding in terms of game development than maybe there was previously. And when I say understanding, I'm sort of talking about kind of like how people who are into movies might know a thing or two about the film production process, even if they don't necessarily have any practical knowledge that would be useful on a film set. But, it's not uncommon, even if people are maybe misusing these terms, like to talk about a game loop. And at least for me, I can definitely remember a time when people wouldn't necessarily talk about that. I'm pretty sure when I first heard the concept of a game loop. Sorry, I'm going to take a minute here and see if I can do something with the map. I'm pretty sure the first time I ever heard of the concept of a game loop, it was from someone who is not a practitioner. So I don't know, it's a tough one. Like, I can remember also seeing Unity showcases, with like just the sort of thing that pretty much every tech company does now, right? Like, they have their big convention and they show off all the fancy new products that they're showing, or that they're that they're going to sell. And whenever it would be the Unity one, there'd always be like a bunch of people kind of coming in talking about how Unreal already had this, or so on or so forth. And obviously in that case, engines just become, PlayStation versus Xbox all over again, or, take your pick in terms of pointless fight. So in that sense, the engine discussion is not really all that interesting. And definitely they are, in my opinion, overemphasized in a lot of cases. But on the other hand, there is something actually quite interesting about the technologies. And like, in one sense, you can ask in a very practical way, right? Like, how is it that this game is able to do this in somewhat maybe narrow senses? So, how is it that I'm able to sort of run across the street and I sort of know somewhat reliably that if I want to stay down below here, I can do that. And if I want to try and jump up, there's going to be other opportunities for me to, to just have things to do and play around. Why is it that the billboards up above seemed to sort of teleport in? Why does the game do that? And then, of course, maybe from a business perspective, to ask, why is it that some game developers like CD Projekt Red, until the games that it'll be releasing next, why is it that they built their own technology where other developers, big and small, will use existing technologies? So, something like Gamebryo for Bethesda Softworks, and its variations of it. I think they call it the Creation Engine now, or CryEngine / Lumberyard. I'm thinking here of Star Citizen. Like, these are big. And then actually the other case would be, you have a company like EA, and to a lesser extent ZeniMax, which really does seem to be capitalizing quite a bit on its in-house technology. So EA in this case would be Frostbite, and of course there are some attendant challenges from using that, it seems. And then in the case of Ubisoft, it's sort of interesting because it does have one. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember if it's called the Massive. Right? No, Massive's the Snowdrop was the one I was thinking of. So that's one that's powering The Division, and I think there were a couple of South Park games, or at least one South Park game that used it. But then, some other big franchises, I think they call the variation of CryEngine that they use for Far Cry the Dunia engine. And then I think it was Anvil for the thing that powers Assassin's Creed. And then, of course, there's other technologies that would be running something like Anno. So in this case, you have one large publisher, which even potentially, despite the protestations of some of its developers, wants to try and amortize the cost of this engine development over as many games as it can. And that's actually not necessarily a terrible idea. I have to imagine that some of the vehicle stuff that was added to the Battlefield games might have its origins in the fact that Frostbite was used to make a Need for Speed game. That's pure speculation on my part, but you can kind of see how an additional set of features, even for things that might already exist in the game, might be enhanced to support a particularly, a particularly complicated game. But yeah, so I mean, the thing is that what people are usually referring to in terms of the engine is obviously more than just the rendering part. There's also, well, actually, the other thing too is when you're talking about the ones that are available to you or I, like an Unreal or a Unity, you're probably referring to a full set of tools. So, for instance, how you develop your levels, right? What tools do you use for that? How does it manage all of the assets that you're creating, like these models and the animations for them and such? Because if you want a pure rendering engine, you can actually get that open source through a tool called Ogre, which Rebel Galaxy Outlaw, Torchlight, Hob. I'm kind of talking about the same set of developers on each of these. I'm trying to remember if there was another one that I played. All of those use this rendering engine, but they're responsible for all the other things, like, how do you handle inputs from players? How do you make sounds play? How do you make sure that they sync up with the moments when they need to? It's very disappointing in a space flight sim where you push the button to fire and a laser shoots out, and then a few seconds later you hear the laser sound, right? You tend to want that to sort of play in the moment, because the fantasy is basically to live out all of those things that you might have seen in Star Wars. I'm sorry, I'm just going to have a bit of tea. That was hot, but that really hit the spot. So, I'm, for myself, quite conscious of the fact that in the end, these are tools to sort of realize a particular kind of experience. That in the end, it's going to be a lot of effort that people put in, and how they use those tools to create certain types of experiences. But with that in mind, I am enough of a nerd that I'm kind of interested in seeing what some of the trade-offs are, and even too, like, I am also interested in that question I mentioned before, like, why do some people? So for instance, Naughty Dog, right? I think one of the things that Sony figured it was buying was not just a first-party developer, but all of the technology that Naughty Dog developed to make its own games, and to see how much of that it could put inside of its own development efforts, right? Sort of the same way that presumably, ZeniMax would want to push its studios to use id Tech where it makes sense, because it is such a well-designed and quite powerful tool. Likewise with Frostbite, although I know people like to complain about that one quite a bit. Or Larian, for instance, right? Like, some of these developers, you can imagine, would actually want to try and save some money. And while you can say that there is a savings in the form of the money that you don't pay for licensing costs, you can take a look at some indies, and it's maybe not so obvious how there is a direct monetary savings in terms of developing their own tools. Although, again, you can never quite count for that sort of stuff, because when you're developing tools, you also are, you're getting some productivity gains, either through the familiarity with the tools, or developing things that will do exactly what you want for a very specific set of ends. But I mean, on the other hand, right? Like, so. All right, I wasn't originally looking for a car, but I feel like I have to now.
Yeah, get that fuck. You're my pupito now.
I'm really screwing this up. All right, after we drop this one off, we will talk to Solomon Reed and move on with the story.
All good, all good. Let's go, go, go. Check the courts.
Anyway, obviously that was a very long ramble.
Hear that? Clocks are ticking. Time waits for no joke.
But I've been going through a couple of textbooks about rendering technology. The one thing I did try to do is actually take the Doom source code because it has released that. I believe they've also done that for Wolfenstein and basically everything up to Doom 3, which is quite old now. Like, there's definitely been a few iterations of the InTech engine, and it does seem that ZeniMax has decided not to open source those. But clearly, it's number one, such an influential piece of technology, and then number two, so many people have sort of done their own sort of forks of this, and some of it will be, you know, we want to try and realize and sort of realize the as close as we can to sort of this original tech.
I saw that coming a mile away. Motherfuckers won't let you go easy.
Here's your fucking karma!
Yeah, it's obviously very influential technology, and for some, you know, the question has been to try and retain as much of the original as possible. All right, that sucks.
Another
But
motherfucker trying to kill me.
that's rather nasty of them. Oh wow, yeah, they did a great job of taking me out there. My tea is already done. But yeah, on the other hand, there are some people who've done these forks where they are... God, I'm wrecking that vehicle. But yeah, the answer for them has been to build on top of what came before, rather than try and take sort of this purist approach
Grab the courts to my drop spot and fly.
to the engine. And the result, of course, has been all sorts of sort of modern Doom mods, ones that are still becoming quite successful in some cases, but also, you know, games like Hexen and Heretic. People seem to sort of be breathing some new life into those. So I don't know.
Think we pissed someone off.
It is, to me, it is kind of interesting to sort of see how that technology works, even if it is in sort of its older iterations. but I suppose the one catch is that it's actually also quite difficult, at least for me. Like, so, you know, C or C++ are not ones that, like, I feel moderately comfortable now. I have used a couple of languages that have familiar syntax, so it's like I'm not going in completely cold. And like in my data structures and algorithms course in university, we used C++ for implementation. But the thing is that they never really taught, like, at least at my university, they don't really, outside of the first like very introductory course, they don't really teach you a programming language. The expectation is that you'll sort of learn how to familiarize yourself and pick up what's required. And in the case of that course, it wasn't really about building software. The software engineering courses were at another point. That one was data structures and algorithms, and as a result, as long as you know you do a linked list correctly, or you know you implement a given algorithm and can describe its complexity in reasonably clear terms, you've done your job. So I definitely don't have the kind of familiarity that lets me sort of just jump into a code base and say, oh, okay, well that's
My chum will do the finishing touch.
that's obvious. On the other hand, I'm not entirely sure there are a lot of people who just like get into a project by going into main and then reading everything that comes after. But it is like, in the end, because I ultimately sort of want to see what went into creating some of the experiences that I've enjoyed on stream. That's proved a bit elusive. Although, from what I've understood, I've read a couple of books which are kind of commentaries on the sort of. In fact, I think one of them might even be an annotated source code. This would be for IdTech. And apparently the Doom 3 one is one of the better ones, and I think it's basically because they realized that it was going to be open sourced, and that generally you want to document as much as possible. Okay, you've all been very patient with me. I'm sure I will still be ranting about this stuff, but I think it's time for us to call Solomon Reed.
Hey, procedures are wrapped.
V, I hope you're not feeling too raw post Farida's work. It's time to intercept and supplant the netrunners. Just one hiccup. Our access to Karen Exotics was cut. They must have discovered us.
Wait, seriously? So we lost him?
Not entirely. We know they were last in the city center, headed our direction. Find a vantage point near the entrance of Dogtown. You'll grab a trace on the runners as they drive to the meeting.
I will just caution folks, I'm happy I had that tea, but I think what I'm going to wind up doing is I will get myself a big glass of water, and I think I'm going to make myself a second cup. One, because I can do with the pick-me-up, and two, I'm really thirsty. Good lord. This isn't going to be related to Phantom Brigade, but for those of you who are wondering about Godless, so I noticed on the Brace Yourself Discord, they announced that basically Danil is now releasing that independently. I think the idea here is he will fully recoup what. So I think basically the idea is that Brace Yourself is not going to be receiving anything from Godless. Hello, Locus. Okay. I'm definitely going to steal that car. But, so he, I mean, I'm assuming, like, I'd love to just put a purely positive spin on it. I don't know if there's a question of the game possibly,
V, I got another moving target. Help it off the beaten path and right into my arms.
But yeah, I have to imagine that probably there's a question. I don't know if it's related to the delay in terms of release, or I do wonder if there's a question in terms of the amount of support that the game would receive in terms of sort of marketing and such. Because I mean, again, I'd like to see the game do very well. But there is also a question in terms of, I don't know what the division of responsibilities were in terms of promoting the game. And obviously, if it's not economically viable to support a game, you can't really expect... Damn! I don't know what happened with the
Hang on.
down arrow. Which doesn't show me live. Okay. I'll have to look into that later. It's a real shame I accidentally doubled up the... Alright, not so good in terms of cops. I just need to survive long enough to get my heal back. So if I can get the contagion in, that might give me some breathing room.
Get out of luck! Everyone run! Run for your lives! Finish them all! Before he bleeds out! Copy that!
All units, no progress in the area. Suspect is still unstable. Code 3. I repeat, code 3.
Alright. That is definitely going to be a challenge to try and escape the 3. Absolutely savage. Alright, that doesn't look healthy. Okay, sorry, so what I was trying to talk... Hello, Lord Gloom. Sorry, I will say this thing steers like a cow, so... But I do see a possible way out. Okay, I don't think I can get any of the corners. So I might have to just go out on foot. Yeah, the problem is anytime I seem like I'm gonna get some distance from the police, I blow it in terms of the turns. Holy smokes. So I gotta make this right pretty quick. I can't believe that worked. Not again! Oh my god, that's terrible.
Roger that, dispatch. This is 331 responding. My neighborhood. I'll take you for tacos sometime.
Okay.
What should I do?
I really wanted to try and finish the thought on Godless. Alright, you know what? The police are just as bad as me. And amazingly, that somehow doesn't count as them having detected me, so I'm just gonna drive off.
What should I do?
I'm not taking the bait. I'm just gonna get in trouble. There we go. I'm assuming the rest of the combat will catch up with me. So, yeah, the thing about Godless is that I can see how, you know, the division of revenue can make it so that a given, like one or both of the participants are not necessarily going to want to put a ton into
Aquí si te caes te levantas, cabrón.
Good lord, how many of these people are there? This at least gives me something to work with still. But yeah, so, I mean, it would be nice. I was obviously excited to hear Godless being part of Brace Yourself Publishing. Brace Yourself Publishing I thought was a really interesting idea. But I am actually happy that if things are going to sort of split apart, I think it's great that the developer who, you know, has kind of put that time into making the game and will be, you know, taking that extra time to either incorporate whatever feedback he was getting from the player base or whatever else the game needs. Obviously, there was a delay in terms of its full release, but I kind of think I'm happy that basically the conditions under which that split happens will basically be the developer is able to sort of recoup the full amount. Like basically, if Godless sort of becomes this, you know, indie darling, right? If it becomes Balatro, then the developer is able to realize all of that. And of course, I'd love to see Brace Yourself do well from it too. But I actually think in terms of an overall design of something, like it is sort of structuring the rest of the life of that project in such a way that the incentives are kind of aligned. So, you know, whatever Daniil sort of does to, I don't know why I'm using his first name. It's probably to, it feels a little weird to use the first and last name over and over again. But I do like this idea that sort of if he comes up with something, if there's something that he does to really make the game sing, he's going to be the one to sort of receive the full reward from that. Because I'm imagining if there's that split, it's possibly because Brace Yourself doesn't see the way to support the game in a way that works for them. Pro, lovely to see you. I'm sorry, I've been sort of bouncing around the or sorry, I've been rambling too much. Wanted to get some tea actually, but let me just take a quick second here. For those of you not familiar with Prosciutto Fist, she's a very lovely broadcaster who has to put up with one annoying guy in her channel. I might actually take a minute to get my tea. We'll finish the mission. She has to put up with an annoying guy in her chat every once in a while who keeps trying to make jokes that are never funny. But Pro is one of the people. So actually, one of the things I try to avoid is complaining about Twitch too much, because like in some ways, I think it's worse than gaming. So like I sometimes feel like you know, as much as I like gaming, I sometimes also just think they're little addiction boxes that stop you from doing anything that like will actually bring you fulfillment into your life. And then if I think about Twitch, I think, you know, that, but you don't even have the benefit of having like playing a game. So, you know, I obviously broadcast on Twitch, but I also tend to think of myself as a bit of a write-only streamer, right? I'll broadcast, but I won't necessarily watch. But I will admit that there are, you know, there are a few broadcasters who really sell me on like sitting down. It's like, you know, I could actually have something that I need to do for the evening. There have been a couple of times where I've actually delayed my writing by quite a bit because Prosciutto Fist has been going live. And I don't know, like it's a little tricky to explain, because I sometimes feel like whenever I talk about an individual highlight, the next broadcast I hear Pro talking about being self-conscious about it. But like, one thing I will actually say that Prosciutto Fist does very well is reactions. Whether it is like just one-off responses or funny faces, or I will definitely say a fun and quick wit. That's always a bit of a treat to see in her channel. But on top, there's just that one time where you said, you made a weird face, and I was like, oh, that's what he meant. Fair enough, fair enough. But no, Prosciutto Fist has been, like, so in terms of also just meeting people, so Viridian, who has come by the channel a couple of times as well, is one of her mods. The Pro's been really nice for just sort of meeting new people, but also just seeing a diversity of games. So I will confess, I am almost certainly going to wind... You're still proud of the latter pun. Wait, the latter pun? I feel like I should remember this, but I'm drawing a blank.
You got a gift. My man will take care of the rest. Check the drop point, your reward. Don't spend it all on XPDs and glitter.
Oh, yes, sorry. Anyways, I will say Prosciutto Fist has been Prosciutto Fist has been a lot of fun to watch, to a point where, like, again, I might have like writing that I want to do, but then she'll go online, and I mean, if I will definitely be streaming Hades again, and that is because she was doing Hades. But I also had just a ton of fun watching her play Baldur's Gate 3, and then she immediately went into a Baldur's Gate 3 co-op with her friends Maggie Moo and Viridian, or Hannah. And, you know, whether it is these multiplayer streams or whether it is these one-offs, it's always just been an absolute delight to watch her and hang out with her. And I mean, this is also, I'm leaving aside the fact that when I stop being a trolly idiot, she actually has really interesting things to say in terms of interest in history or studying and so on and so forth. And I do happen to know that she is trying to become a partnered streamer. And she's someone who I definitely feel has the talent to do it, although, of course, anytime you do any form of entertainment, there's always a very large component of luck as well. So I hope the fact that I'm taking a whole bunch of time to speak to her qualities will tell you that you should follow her. You're manifesting. Or manifesting. You were honorably added to the man. Well, I will say I want to be a little careful on it, but I have a feeling that probably I'm not the intended or the viewership of choice. I have noticed each time I talk about the Manfest, I've noticed someone likes to bring up sausages a little too much, so I'm a little more reluctant to mention the Manfest every once in a while now. So I need to come up with a new. I don't know. I need to come up with a new bit. Anyways, I'm gonna feel really bad now. Let me take a quick minute here, and I do see you, Cured Charlie. I hope you're doing well. I hope you have a good day at work. I know I'm not going to be able to wish that to you at the time, but Lord Gloom, who's accusing me of name-dropping Danil Kalupa of Godless fame, is also a very wonderful streamer that you should check out for entirely different reasons from Pro, but also still worth it. In fact, the one thing that I will say, Lord Gloom, I am so sorry, Lord Gloom. That is the one you should check out. Lord Gloom and Prosciutto Fist have one thing in common, and that is Magic the Gathering. I've got to see Pro and her Hot Ladies deck. I've got to see Lord Gloom play it with physical cards. Well, I'm sure that name's available if you want to steal it. But Lord Gloom has done... So, actually, sorry, I was also going to mention that Prosciutto Fist also very kindly did Disco Elysium last night. So for those of you who are looking for an IRL Commander deck... What is that? But anyways, Lord Gloom is somebody who I originally found through another Brace Yourself publishing game. It's why I kind of wanted to finish the Brace Yourself publishing thought before I did the shout out. But he's done a wonderful job with Cobalt Core, which is a game I really like. I still really like. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Actually, Lord Gloom, weren't you playing Commander? In any case, I will actually say there are a couple of qualities that I've noticed that they share, which is their ability to sort of do some of their, I don't know if I want to call it co-op, but at least playing with friends streams very well. So I've probably spent the most time watching Lord Gloom play Escape from Tarkov, and I actually kind of like that he seemed to have sort of a more level-headed approach to Battlespace. I think it's Battlespace is the one who does that. But anyways, they did what I thought was kind of a nonsense kind of rug pull in terms of their DLC and sort of relabeling things like they, I think there was like a Lifetime DLC thing that they did and then they released something quite costly, and they said, "Oh, but you see, this isn't a DLC." So, I don't know. The thing is that I do tend to find, in terms of gamers, there will always be the like all capital letters, you know, "Can you effing believe this?" headline, the sort of thing that I complain about a lot in terms of coverage. But what I generally want to hear is like, what do people actually think, right? Not what did Twitter say. Twitter's already kind of told me. Okay, I'm sorry, Loka. Do you want? I'll not make this about you. How about that? But like I guess the thing that I tend to like hearing is that if people are just going to repeat back what if people are just going to repeat back what they've read on Twitter or what they've done. Sorry, I might as well just stop playing the game for a little bit. But if they're just going to repeat back what they see someone else say, right? I'm perfectly capable of reading those headlines too. I don't really see a lot of value in it, and I actually do tend to get annoyed when it's just sort of the same thing repeated. It's why I keep going on about EA, frankly, because people really still don't seem to understand why they dislike that company. They just know that, you know, no matter what it does, EA is the bad guy. And I think that kind of stuff makes us dumber. So I think it's completely fine to be unhappy with things in terms of gaming. I just think it would be nice to be kind of interesting about it and to say what you actually think, as opposed to just, you know, repeat the same nonsense that you hear over and over again. If nothing else, because, you know, I like to consider myself reasonably well informed. So I don't know, like, do I really need to be told the Kotaku, like the latest Kotaku headline over and over again? Wait, is that what the deep voice guy? No, EA Sports, it's in the game. Obviously, you're a big NHL fan. But yeah, I did appreciate. So I don't necessarily think Lord Gloom was an apologist for how Battlespace did, but I did actually think that. Solomon Reed is calling.
Pete, are you at the dog town perimeter? Find a good vantage point. I need you to confirm when they pull in.
I do dislike how much everything slows down when I run into. You know what? You deserved it.
Attention, this is Cotenson. The cyber psycho.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I do tend to like it when I hear someone who seems to have put some thought into the given issue, and whether or not I agree with it is completely beside the point. In fact, one thing I did rather like during the latest Dirty Rectangles stream was Derek was very kind about a couple of the articles that I wrote. And I may have sort of led the witness a little bit, but, you know, it was definitely along the lines of, like, you know, I don't necessarily agree with it, but it at least provoked an interesting train of thought, which is about all that I can really hope for on my articles, because it's not like I'm going to have a scoop, right? The Wall Street Journal and Bloomberg both have gaming divisions, and that's on top of the IGNs and Kotakus who have dedicated staff to cover gaming. But I think at the very least, if I hear someone able to speak honestly about what they're interested in, or about the game that they're playing, for me at least, that's why I tend to watch streams or engage with people. And it's one thing that I actually quite liked about Lord Gloom, because I wouldn't have been aware of the DLC controversy. And more importantly, I felt that, you know, when I went up and looked it up afterwards, I didn't necessarily feel like what I was hearing from Lord Gloom was just the same talking points, repeated over and over again. Anyways, I do apologize. I've been a little bit rambly, and I realize that's kind of ruined everything. I think maybe Lord Gloom just ran off and like, okay, I'm done. But I'm going to take a quick minute here to refill my tea, just because I do get a little more rambly the more tired I am. And more importantly, now that Pro has arrived, I feel that she really needs some products and services in her life, which is why I'm going to run an ad break. I'm going to try and keep this as quick as I can. Basically, the time that it takes to boil a kettle and refill my glass of water, and then we will continue on with the game. But while I am, he said she needs to be better. I don't think you need to be better. You're perfect just the way that you are. Except, I think you need less money buying products and services. Give you ads. All right, I'm going to be back in just a little bit. And then we can actually play this game. While I'm off, how many of you have played Cyberpunk, and do you have any opinions on it? See you all in a little bit. By the way, Pro, did you know that I made the expression at work? we're actually getting married and we're very happy together. All right. I think every deck I've ever played in Magic has been a single color. I don't really know that much about the game. All right, so I have an idea for a marketing campaign, but I don't really use Instagram or related technologies that much. But I'm sure you are all familiar with the filters that these applications give you to like make you preposterously attractive. I mean, for me, it just kind of said, "Who are you kidding, buddy?" But for most people, there are filters to beautify you. Is everybody familiar with this? Because I have a way to turn this into a commercial.
Okay, now I'm gonna need you to confirm a visual for me. Scan the vehicles in your area. One's bound to be them.
No sign of their ride. See a convoy. Hansen's goons. Doubt the runners would have a security escort, though. I'll keep watching.
Yes, but you are also scared.
Additional support for the stadium, most likely.
So what I'm thinking...
Clean so far.
What you do for the commercial is you rent the beauty button, right? Like I get that it's a number of filters, but like, you know, everybody kind of knows you push a certain button.
Still nothing.
Was that intentional?
No visual on our targets. Got a total Cortez blocking the road. Traffic's piling up. Car's basic, run of the mill. Definitely not them.
And we keep looking.
Okay, so basically the idea here is that you rent the button, right? You want to look hot on Instagram.
Couple of bikers. Don't expect they'd swap out 4 wheels for 2 last minute.
You want to look good, you push the button, and company's gonna rent that button. But the trick behind this is that it's got to be a specific company.
There they are. No question. Both runners are inside. Got the signal?
Got it. Not gonna slip off our radar anymore. Good work. Still early for the meet with Hansen. They'll stop. Kill time somewhere. Okay, they're stationary. And out of the car. Walking towards the club now. V, you're clear to head for the car. Get to it.
So the trick here is that the company that rents the... I'm gonna take the long way around. The company that rents the beautification button is Dove. So when you push the button for beautification, it actually just shows the normal photo, and then it emails you a heartfelt message about true beauty.
Are you in position?
Here we are. Damn. Preem ride.
Hey, you're not there to window shop.
Smooth sailing so far.
That's all I got. I'm gonna go back to it. You thought it was gonna be weird? I think it's in line with their previous marketing campaigns.
Car's cam feeds are mine.
Last check now. Make sure you're ready to roll.
I mean, I guess I could make it so that all of the
Should be good. Just give me 1 sec.
Why? What are you doing?
Tweaking the ice. Kinda half-baked, way it's set up now.
Fine. Just no unnecessary risks.
I could make it so that the selfies have human teeth in them. All right. Ideally, I'd do the BD, but I don't have one of those to start with, so I do 55E9. And then I can do the BD 1C, yeah. 1C, 1C, and then which gives me the E9.
And done.
Not bad. Now, we wait. Our VIPs are back. They're about to get in. Time to focus up.
Kurt Hansen, tu l'as vu, non? Il était grave en train de me relooker au saphir. Oh, à moins que ce soit cette putain de gueule de voix. Oh, ça tourne de partout, dans tous les sens.
T'en penses quoi? De Hansen, je veux dire.
Okay, V, take control.
Hold on. Eavesdropping a bit. Could get interesting.
Oh, il a foutu le feu au cul de tout le monde quand il a abattu cet avion.
Le risque est élevé, oui. Mais ce travail paie bien. On fait notre part. Ensuite, on disparaît.
Oh, putain de gueule de bois de sa mère.
Il a fallu que tu fasses ça aujourd'hui. Je t'avais dit de pas ouvrir cette dernière bouteille.
V, you copy?
Chill. Just wait.
T'en penses quoi? De Hansen, je veux dire?
Je l'ai vu parler au chef de la police et lui donner une petite tape sur la joue comme un chiot. L'autre n'a pas branché. Et il n'en fallait pas plus pour cerner le personnage. C'est un enfoiré coriace et un homme dur. Il survivra à tout ce qui lui balanceront.
Ouais, dur, juste comme je les aime. Ils ont l'endurance qui va avec.
V, clock's ticking.
Back in the car now.
La voiture! Quelqu'un en a pris le contrôle!
Emmerich, sonne l'alarme! On a besoin d'aide! Je vais localiser le vecteur.
Ok, une seconde! C'est fait!
Putain, allez! J'essaie de reprendre le contrôle!
Good music cue, but I don't know if I can... I guess I bought myself a little extra time by making the ice better. Not the easiest thing to control in Dogtown, though.
V, report, what's going on?
They're playing
I take it
defense, and they're good.
J'arrive pas à la couper!
It's actually a really neat touch. Jesus. It's a really neat touch to have them reassert control partway through the mission. It gives a little bit of authenticity to the idea that you're fighting a couple of hackers for control of a vehicle. I'm assuming they're just gonna find me in the trunk and shoot me if the trace completes, though.
You a shit driver? On est coupé!
Mais merde! Quoi? Putain, qu'est-ce qui se passe?
Non!
Jesus.
What in the fuck?
Target's neutralized.
I'm pretty sure
Great work, V.
this means I'm going with Songbird on
Alright, we
this.
have fresh disguises already, but you still need to lift the access codes off them. Aurora's the one to check for those.
Sure she's the one with the codes?
Definitely. Her brother transfers his memories to external databanks, and he's had these stolen before. They wouldn't risk losing these codes.
Ugh. This feels so fucked up.
Expect me to believe you've never taken anything off a body before?
All right, codes transferred. Taking the wheel.
V, behavioral imprint, now.
This on? Oh shit, my voice. Oh, nice. Hang on, that's me. What the hell?
Prim, right? Give it a whirl. Introduce yourself.
Oh, I am V. Je m'appelle V.
Must do more than morph your face and voice. Gotta alter your biochem makeup. Affecting behavior. Peeps are little more than the brain chemicals that make them up.
Got it right. New hormonal cocktail.
Okay, here goes. Emeric Cassel.
That's it?
Well, yeah.
Well, sounded like him at least.
It can feel like a real trip at first, but you'll get used to it.
Take a sec, collect yourself, then we move. Hansen's waiting.
Alex, it just hit me. This will be our last stop together. I haven't forgotten our deal. Maya's greenlit it. A diplomatic mission. No end date. Call it early retirement.
Thanks much, Reed.
Ready, Aurore?
Fucking bet I am. Tech's a natural fit for you. Sound just like him.
Any pre-op jitters?
Kinda, I guess.
But... hearing a butt in there.
It's just, more than anything, I miss this.
Okay, let's get to it.
Alright, stadium then. See you there.
So, this one I'm a little mixed
How
on.
about a little refresher before we arrive? Remember, name's Emeric Cassel. Let me let you in on my secret about how to be someone else. Ask yourself 3 questions. What do they fear? What do they want? What's their deepest secret?
What do they fear being number 1 is a bit telling. For those of you who didn't know, there's a story
that?
that...
Don't answer now, just something to keep in mind. And be him.
I actually don't remember the third one that she said, but I remember...
So, Emeric, tell me, your thoughts on Hansen?
Saw him talk to the chief of police. Pat him on the cheek. No complaint, nothing. Told me all I needed to know. But he is a tough bastard, a hard man. He can survive.
Impressive recall. Not to mention solid roleplay.
But yeah, so she told a story about how she took the identity of someone who was scared of dogs and blew her cover because she pet the dog. So actually, just before we go, and I'll read the journal. Oh, no, can't read the journal entry. Okay, I'll go to the entry. So one thing I did want to say about that sequence. So I'm a sucker for kind of a good spy story. So I'm really enjoying Phantom Liberty on that dimension. But what happened with Emmerich and Aurora definitely solidified my my choice. So I am really interested in both the characters of Songbird and Solomon Reed, and I am sympathetic to Songbird as a character, and particularly in relation to the specific character of V that I'm playing in this. But I find Solomon Reed just a really, really interesting character, and I would actually probably say, if I were to consider the two different characters that I have, like this incredibly talented hacker that wants to go and have a life, or, you know, this incredibly sort of stern and loyal operative, which seems to be, you know, despite being betrayed and despite, you know, like I even after everything is still committed to the job, seemingly no matter what, I'd actually probably say my personal loyalties would be much more in line with Solomon, the Idris Elba character, than Songbird. But we have, first of all, the encounter with him and Myers and the people who are promised to, you know, get a reward for helping. Reed obviously kills them. You know, he's doing everything he possibly can to put Songbird in his power, beyond the point that I think would be necessary for, like, to actually achieve the objective. And, you know, I like I said, I kind of really enjoyed that sequence where you hijack the car. I like the fact that you're given the option to get a little bit more information, which I clearly got some benefit from. And also just kind of to see the efficiency of the two operatives going, right? The stun and pulled out of the vehicle. Just basically being able to be there for the setup of the operation with Reed and then see it play out is a lot of fun. Like, I think that there is something kind of neat in terms of being, at least for me, it doesn't happen as much in games, although I think Grand Theft Auto 5 does a pretty good job of this if you're with a good team. Like, feeling you're part of something bigger that's going on and you have just a part to play, but everything isn't revolving around you, I think can sometimes be really interesting. But the thing is that, you know, while I can see the sense in killing both of them, that is obviously a level of ruthlessness and yet another reminder of exactly who we're dealing with. So at this point, if I were to encounter, like, if I had to give a clear choice between, like, are you siding with Songbird or are you siding with Reed? Songbird hasn't necessarily shown the best judgment up to this point, but I have absolutely no indication that I will be anything but thrown away by Solomon Reed at the end of this. So that's where I am right now. And I did want to take the time to say that because my view may change.
We have arrived. The Hound's Den.
In position. Ready for the next phase. Talk soon.
good? Come on through.
Good, we are the best.
Some Euro trash are coming to see Kurt.
Let's go. Park. Before we go in, remember, he wants something from us, not the other way around. We are here to sell him Sinosure mainframe access codes. Stick to the facts, know who you are and are not. Hansen awaits us!
All right, let me just take a quick second here. Transfers his memories to external storage disks. Memories from 2073 to 2075 were stolen, employed at Petrochem 72 to 74. Treats his body like a temple, avoids substance abuse, classic car collector, and highly allergic to strawberries.
Clear eyes, sharp mind, Aurore.
We're doubling up at every post. Believe that? Something has Hansen all tense. Yeah, Hansen and Murphy both. It's contagious.
Secure area, folks.
Magnifique! Because we have a meeting with Colonel Hansen. Now.
Moment, please.
Good, you made it. We haven't met yet. Name's Murphy.
So, this is your celebrated stadium.
That's right. Once an EBM and Petrochem monument to bloodsport. Today, a hub for global trade.
How very American. The colonel is here already.
He is. Waiting for you.
Fantastic.
This way.
I don't know why it shot me forward like that, but
Murphy. It seems familiar. No, I believe we have met.
I'm certain we haven't.
Oh, oui, oui. You love to frequent the bordellos of Paris, no?
What?
I'm only fucking with you, Murphy. It's a pleasure.
Here we are. Our stop.
I wonder.
You should expect to have eyes on you all day today. Kurt got a tip. The FIA plans to pull some gonk move.
Huh. Is that so?
The situation's under control, though. He ordered everyone checked out. No exceptions. Got our people manning the whole stadium. Drone-aided scans providing surveillance support, too. Need you to leave your weapons here.
Next, we'll need to run some ID scans. Joke around as we might, get along as we do. Ultimately, this is a place of serious business. You understand?
This here's the heart of our little empire.
Tell me, what do you do here? Your operation, precisely.
Arms trading, mostly. Need to start a war? End one? Planning a coup, maybe. We don't ask these questions.
And this role is from Night City?
Some. But our reach stretches around the globe. Japan, Australia, the Balkans, Lagos, you name it.
All right, I'm in position. Preparing our evac route now. Take your time. I need 10 more minutes at least.
Not much further now.
I couldn't get started earlier without risk of being compromised. And Emmerich, this should go without saying, but stay in character. Good luck.
Ah,
Let's
my
keep
brother.
moving.
He talks little.
Huh. Noticed and noted.
Sometimes I find this creepy. But not you, I hope?
Hey, just met the guy.
My, a diplomat.
So obviously the goal here is to extend the conversation while also being someone who doesn't talk a whole lot.
A pleasure to see you both. Songbird needs a moment to disarm the device. Which gives us a chance to chat.
We are not in a hurry.
I'm sure. I hear you're not the type to do anything hastily.
Classic
I
Emery.
do not
He
waste
says
time and
very
energy
little.
on insignificant matters.
So I heard. Is that why you strip yourself of your memories and store them in external databanks?
In my quest for mental hygiene, for spiritual economy. Do you believe in God, Colonel Hansen?
Which one? The Eurodollar? The geopolitical powers that be? Or the Christian God? No. Wastes of my time, all.
I see. Then I am curious how you will fare after this life has ended.
Changing the subject. Did you enjoy yourselves at the Black Sapphire? My people tell me the games went high stakes. You two left richer and happier, I hope.
We had losses, but came out on top in the end.
And this brainless prick joined. He lost everything.
I remember the prick. He had it coming. The Black Sapphire is my pride and joy. I worked hard to make it the go-to destination for Night City's royalty.
Why did you stay in Night City? You are not from here.
Well, seems I'm not the only one who's done their homework. It's a good question. One I've asked myself many times. Call it a symbol I've grown attached to. Like the NUS flag, Night City represents a great failure.
Of yours?
Of principles. Say, it's been a while since you were last in Night City, hasn't it? Not since Sinosure.
Quite right, but we almost flew here some time ago. Emmerich had other business in Night City. My brother is obsessed with cars. He collects them. I say to him how wonderfully pretentious he is.
Interesting. And what rare gem brought you halfway around the world?
Oh, you kidding me? It's gotta be a classic, I guess.
Perhaps you know this man, Grayson? He wanted to sell me a classic Porsche, once owned by a famous American rocker boy.
Everyone knows Grayson, and this rock star. Yeah, I remember hearing about this sale.
Well, it fell apart. Grayson was a fool. He weaseled out in the final hour.
Please, I have vodka. Help yourselves.
That is obviously a test.
I'm sure you never put pleasure before business, but I insist. A symbolic drink.
I could not say it better myself. Symbolic, yes.
Not very American, I know, but it's a custom my friends in Siberia taught me to love.
Your old friends in the new states. There is bad blood, no?
Mm-hmm. Federal agents sniff around you still.
It's complicated. When they don't want their John Hancocks on something, they wire me a transfer and I set to work. Later that night, I'll watch him condemn my terrorist act on the evening news. So they sniff around, sure. But they prefer to call direct. And that's not likely to change in this admin, nor the next. Ah, right. I'd almost forgotten. My friends in Los Santos send their regards. C-Block.
Your friends are mistaken, I think.
Are you sure? You spent 2 years in that prison, under a false name.
That's right. In the VIP wing. But the cockroaches in C-Block don't know who is there.
Then forgive me. I must be mistaken.
Colonel, may I see your knife?
By all means. It's a traditional Yakut hunting knife.
You see, I spent some time in the Philippines. I've had a keen eye for fine blades since. Fascinating. Such a rare thing.
By the way, Amric, I asked around a bit doing my due diligence. They tell me you worked at Petrochem 3 years ago. Corporations rarely let your caliber talent slip through their fingers. How did you wriggle out of the contract?
Colonel, this may be difficult to believe, but I do not remember. I store my memories in external databanks. My databanks from that time was stolen. Forgive me, I would like to answer, but I cannot.
Please, it's no problem. Ah! Somi.
We can begin. The mainframe is ready.
You remember the terms. One of you feeds in the access codes, the other stays with me.
Ooh, I volunteer to stay.
To work, then.
Follow me.
Okay, so I am very curious whether or not Solomon does something to blow this up and we
As
lose
agreed,
Alex.
You'll see the payments hit your account today.
Ah, money and...
While you were waiting, I ran some initial diagnostics. The mainframe is prepped and linked with our systems. She's ready to go. You know, he created this lab especially for the occasion. Tens of millions of eddies invested for your visit alone. That's Kurt for you. I have a plan in place for once we secure the neural matrix. I'll hack the local net, override its defense systems, turn the whole stadium hostile. We'll slip out in the chaos.
But how many would die?
They'll die so we can survive. Live. I managed to simulate the mainframe's native environment, the bunker. It'll be ready for the access codes in a moment. Listen, V. All hell breaks loose in 2 minutes. When Hansen flatlines, we haul ass.
Just gonna...
I'll block access to this room. Alex and Reed are minimizing risk and exfilling early via the route.
I want to see if there is a way that I can somehow get the... I can't... Well, I can, but I'd rather not drop any more of these.
Here she is, in all her glory. Oh, and don't worry about us. Got that sorted already. Check stadium blueprints, no which way to run. So, shall we?
Where do I connect?
I am ready. Linked. Connection quality.
1,000th of the decimal. It'll have to do.
Then in we go.
Actuating the mainframe.
Hansen suspects something, just hasn't caught on yet.
Soon it won't matter.
So I see. It's responding.
Stay sharp. Almost open for input.
I really do love this idea for...
Thank you. Really. Thank you for being here.
I really...
Just a little more. Okay, your turn. It's ready for the access codes.
I'm with you, Somi.
Look toward Alex. Wait for Kurt to go down.
Everything all right? You look like shit.
Nice to hear. Running 3 things at once here. You do one. Keep your eyes on Kurt.
Yeah, I really like the idea of her avatar being there while she's still operating in the real world.
Can do. What then?
We run. Nearly have the Matrix. Breaching stadium defenses now. It's a lot. Had to reach past the black wall.
Wait, you mean to say, like, the whole stadium?
Cutting off the lab now. Carving a path out of here for us.
God, I really want to see where this
Defense
goes.
systems are nearly primed to turn on Kurt's forces. Let Alex know.
Okay.
Target down. It's done. Stadium defenses. Hostile and online.
Hey, status. Everything all right?
Somi, you okay? What's wrong?
The Matrix, the stadium, the black wall. Just lost control for a sec. But, yeah, I'm okay now. V, you need to bolt. Things get dicey. I can help. Hack stuff around you. Just can't push myself. The mainframe breach. Black wall hit me hard.
All right. Oh my God, we don't have much. Okay. Might be able to get away with the submachine gun. Yeah, you know what? We're gonna go for the submachine gun. Okay. And I'm sorry to do this. I'm actually going to take a second here just because I already felt bad that somewhat cinematic sequence was a bit choppy. So I'm going to quit out of the game really quick just so I can try and get something a little more responsive. I'm sorry the number of people seem to have fallen a little bit because I am actually really interested in seeing where this is going. Maybe everybody here is a Solomon Reed fan and doesn't like the fact that I went with Somi. Okay, it's just syncing, so it's at 75%. The other thing I didn't really want to talk over too much was I actually really did like the little dialogue game with Kurt Hansen. I don't know, like it's obviously very simple, right? Like you don't necessarily need to have, you know, a beautifully rendered science fiction video game in order to be able to play, you know, the Imitation Game. But it's a pretty compelling little sequence. But now we've earned some combat.
Everyone all right?
Chance you can spin the chopper's rotor?
Looks like it.
I could probably do a system collapse. Let's see if I can do this better. Someone's on the way. Obviously, we don't exactly want to be slow on this, but I figure it's probably better than getting into a big fight. Okay. I'm not so sure about the patrols, but... So I gotta care about that guy on the upper level. Chimera Mechanical Report, Warehouse E8. Through coordination with the team tasked with accessing the Chimera's AI system, we've started to work on the tank's mechanical maintenance. In trying to navigate around the AI system's external interface, we installed the connector units as requested by the AI team. Unfortunately, it wasn't any help. We can say with absolute confidence that, from a technical standpoint, the machine systems are fully functional. The problem isn't in our engineering or its power source. We simply don't have access to the AI operating system. Note, the idea has been floated to connect it to the stadium's power grid and cause a sudden surge to jolt it awake. In other words, a mega defibrillator for our giant spider. However, based on our understanding of the AI specs, we believe this would be a very bad idea. I'll system collapse if I have to, but I should be able to get around this.
The stairs left. Find a gear.
Alright. So we still have a patrol to deal with, but system collapse makes a little more sense now that there's only one. And I can't interact with that computer. Alright, bit of a shame we didn't get a chance to take out the other guy, but let's get my goodies back. Should be like a fully loaded out assault rifle. Oh wait, no, it should be the only iconic one. Oh, hell. Okay. Yeah, this Kyubi. Her Majesty. And...
Okay, open the gate.
This seems...
V, careful. It's Murphy. We need to get to a higher level. I can do something.
You start those cars. Get them rolling down.
I don't know what the other option was. This is a terrible place to be. I mean, I can fight it if I have to, but...
Come out, damn it!
That's embarrassing.
You're dead, assholes!
That grenade might end me. So I need to buy myself a bit of time to heal up, but the problem is that they are quite a bit better. I gotta get right out of here. Yeah, they're doing a much better job than the usual encounters, letting me sort of hide behind something and heal.
What they paying you for?
Okay, now we get to loot. Nope. They also might just sort of come after me forever, so...
Shit's fucked up. Oh.
Not giving up my loot, though. Okay. I wanted to try and extend this as long as I could, but, well, in terms of having to scrap this stuff, but obviously we are getting detected. $5.98's okay. Again, right now my goal is just to pick up everything I can, and we'll worry about the rest later. So organizing the inventory, scrapping stuff, all of that, those are secondary. So again, my regret is I don't know what Songbird would have done for the alternative. Damn it. If there's only one guy, we're fine, but... Probably best to ping if I can, but... Okay, obviously there's more than one. It's a lot of guys. So that's probably something Songbird might have been able to help with.
Show me! Turrets! Fire them up!
Should have contagion before I did that. So that way I can at least cause some chaos in the backlines.
You didn't sign up for this shit!
Once this fight's done, I'll worry about my weight. Okay, that guy is healing, unfortunately. Yeah, so unfortunately, most of this stuff is really high quality. Let's see if clearing out some of the riffraff here. Well, gives us 20.
You didn't sign up for this shit! Come on! What they paying you for?
Okay, the problem here is I don't think Contagion's going to spread to the others. So I'll do what I can here, but I need to get back to a stealthy approach. Alright, I'm also going to need to make some more fundamental decisions in terms of my loadout. Now, I also have no idea where Somi went, and I don't know if that's intentional or not. Okay. So as usual, I'll just clear out anything.
I would never want to belong to any club that would have someone like me.
Don't see who that was. Viketti, thank you very much for the follow. Oh. I feel bad I had to ban my biggest fan. Wonder if this club, Murphy's Law, is stronger. Only the hottest iron on the market. Less than 3. Yo, 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 it's my your favorite iron girl here, coming at you with the latest and only the best military iron. You would not believe how much gear I tested this past week, and even some from the one and only Tsunami. We love you, Tsunami. Less than 3. Time to dive in. Let's start with something special. I'm talking special like Special Forces special, not like, oh wow, so special, special. Dakota released their flagship sniper, the Osprey. If we want to get all technical in the price to quality analysis, my super scientific conclusion is good shit that's expensive, but like not too expensive. It's not easy to find, definitely more common in military circles, but if you get your hands on one, you gotta try it out and squeeze out a few rounds. And if you actually buy one, all your chooms will know that you be a broke-ass bitch. But you ain't that broke. Oh, by the way, I really took out a Nicola can at 400 yards. So, yeah, that's the kind of iron we're talking. Highly effective, but no miracle worker. Your parrot still won't love you. Okay, moving on to mid-range. From mid-range to even mid-range. 2 rifles, the Militech Hercules 3AX and the HA7 Warden. And yeah, they're both, like, pretty alright. The Warden's ugly and the Hercules looks like a tractor. Side note, it only fires poisonous rounds. Fancy schmancy? Nah. Effective? Yeah. And while we're still talking ugly iron in the middest of ranges, a revolver from Technotronica would like to enter the chat. The metal. Also ugly, but at least you can hide it in your purse. Phew. Okay, time for the best part. The Lux brands. The Tsunami Kyubi assault rifle can deliver some serious boo-boos and look good doing it. Can 1000% recommend. Period. That's it. Next up, finally, my absolute fave, the Tsunami Kappa. Less than 3. This cute little handgun practically fires itself, so my lazy ass ordered one in every color. Hee hee, winky face. That's all I got for you today, my little iron babies. Catch you next time. Bye!
Protect the wounded, for fuck's sake!
I hear someone.
Come out!
Okay, you know what? We don't need to fight it.
Okay, now, the door on the left.
Take position, people! All firearms on target! Wanna see them bullets flying?
So it does feel like I'm going through this a little too slow, but I'll confess, I do like this as what is presumably a finale.
But we're not using it. Keep going, to the corridor.
I am wondering when we run into Solomon, though. There's got to be
Door's
that or
locked.
Bargast.
I'll open it. Give me a sec.
Well, I guess we're technically running into... Anyways, you know what I mean.
Done. Disable the door. We have a moment to catch our breath. Which? Give me a sec.
Hacking the mainframe took a lot out of you.
The mainframe, the stadium, bit off more than I could chew. Follow the maintenance shaft. Take the stairs down. Careful. People up ahead.
Equipment's fried. Other half's lit up like a fucking Christmas tree. We're gonna be down, what, at least a couple of days? Fuck, dude. Try a week? Shit. Need to close down the stadium. Too risky without working systems.
I don't know if they're gonna move or not.
It's them! Please, don't hurt us! We won't say a word! Promise!
I'm guessing if you went with Solomon on this, assuming that you still follow the same path, those guys probably don't survive the encounter.
Drones.
It's not that hard for me to deal with drones. Leads in the Colleen investigation. Mike, use this if you find it. Potential locations: Colleen could rebuild her lab. Vargas transport tunnels in the stacks. Easy access to old suppliers. Hustle, but close co-op with Vargas. She's paranoid. Too much out of her hands. A lot of prying, especially knowing I'm hot on her ass. Co-op with Ripper Anderson. Shared space, shared resources. Del Blanco would know. And Anderson is a tricky loose end. Likely to confess, negotiate, to stay ahead of it. Sapphire, worth it for Hansen? Maybe he'd welcome an experienced chemist. Maybe not so much her lab's horrible stench, not to mention she's unbearable. Terra Cognita owes debt to scavs and animals. Would want to cage her up, move her product, tested the waters. 1, first the scavs heard about the deep dive and too gaunt to lie. 2, a few animals asked if I was selling. Dead end. Shipping crate, ditch, any old hole in the ground? DT isn't flooded with her product yet, only isolated incidents. Maybe just sitting on her ass, biding time, polishing her poison, waiting for me to eat a bullet. Ding, 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 fucking probably. I must have joined up with somebody to help her lie low. 3 batches, varied durations, seemingly different dosages, noticeable difference in aftertaste, maybe combined with Smallerol derivatives. Contacts: Cass, willing to talk, call only after 10 p.m. Jahir, buyable, question is how much. Talia, breakable, but need to press hard. Gia, willing to talk, but doesn't know anything. Yay. Ken wants a new faceplate, says he has something big, hot lead or hot air. Zion, need to find no firm leads, but might be interested in striking a deal. Okay, I screwed this up. Wrong one. Not the cleanest round, but
exiting from the back of the stadium. I've arranged 2 cars. En route already. One's for you, the other's for me. Should make us harder to track. Budging.
Fuck! What's this?
Finally.
Okay. Jump in.
Think I see who that alarm's for. Blast? Gotta be them.
Fuck! Fucking ankle!
Hansen's dogs could swoop in any second.
Come on, Sony. Final stretch.
Toward the gate. Carl'll be there. Thank you, V.
Gonna mean trouble for us. Red bump sprouting up too. No, it ain't. How you so sure?
There they are. All right.
That car? Bet you my lucky any it's here for them. That's a dumbass bit. That mean you take it?
Oh, my...
I'm assuming there's someone in that car because she does not seem...
Sure you're gonna make it out of this?
If I don't, you'll hear about it on the news.
So we did it. Got away from Hansen and the FIA.
Not quite, V. This was the first step. I won't rest easy until I'm out of NC airspace.
Seriously? Gonna hop in another plane after how you wound up here?
You'll see.
Hope you got a plan for what comes next.
We need to split up. Try to throw off the agency's pursuit strategy. Meanwhile, I'll confirm my path out of Night City is clear. Once I do, I'll be in touch.
Where are we gonna meet? And when?
I'll send you the coordinates. Just wait for my sig. And don't get caught.
Hey, likewise.
And V? Thanks.
I do like that he barely charges into the homeless camp.
I don't track it. Just passing through.
Okay, so there's not much for me to do. Songbird, I'm with you. Well, V, it's game time. Everything on the line, but I'm with you all the way, okay? Not going anywhere. I would kind of like to see more of Fool on the Hill. Alternatively, I could do Beast and Me. Yeah, I think I'm going to start with Fool on the Hill. Really know how to lay low. For those of you who saw that sequence, what did you think of that? Like, I quite liked it, but there was a big, it was kind of a big firefight, so I didn't have a whole lot to say, and I'm not sure I make the combat look the most exciting. And I suppose the question would be, do you feel I made the right choice. Should I have stuck with Solomon, or was it the right thing to help? Right thing to help Somi.
Rain lead on him, boys! Oh.
Good lord, I'm bad at this.
Alright, V, flipping you the chords. This little cruiser's very eager to swap hands. One more thing. Hear that? Clocks are ticking. Time waits for no chew.
Yeah, I think I probably, in terms of describing my individual decision to help Songbird, there's, I kind of covered it based on Solomon Reed's behavior earlier on in the mission. And I kind of feel, so I don't know what happens when you choose Reed. I might even just try this again on my own time and see what the result is. But no, I completely understand, Pro. I'm surprised you're still here because I feel like I am absolutely sucking. Oh, actually, you probably can't hear me, so thank you. Yeah, thank you, Pro. I appreciate you saying that just because I'm not really feeling like God's gift to streaming right now. I don't know if you can hear this or not, but I did type something in. But have a good opening, and I will see you hopefully in your stream. And for those of you who have not done so already, I highly recommend checking out Prosciutto Fist. Very talented, multi-talented broadcaster on Twitch, and somebody who I have a lot of fun hanging out with. Okay, yeah, so Pro can't... Yeah, so the reasoning, you have the first encounter with the people who help Myers. They wind up dead as soon as Solomon becomes involved. You have a number of people who are quite, you have a number of people who are, don't have the warmest feelings towards Solomon. And in fairness, he does seem to kind of honor his debts, I guess. So he does kind of come back for Alex, but the drawback is, of course, that Alex also winds up being sort of a means to an end to a certain extent. We don't necessarily get to see how the promises turn out. But again, anybody who is a potential...
Oh, yeah, I knew
again, the key here being the potential liability
Thanks for the help, V.
doesn't survive.
Will do the finishing touches.
And I do find some...
token of my appreciations waiting for you in the drop locker.
Because I do find Songbird sympathetic, and the fact that Reed was definitely pushing hard to sort of have her completely under his control, I don't know, I couldn't really rationalize, as much as I like the character of Solomon Reed personally, I couldn't really rationalize the choice. Who made this, Tesla? Alright, let's talk to Misty. I'm pleased to see that you are making yourself right at home here in Dogtown. Excellent. The district will be all the better for it. I've got 2 new gigs for you. Peruse the details at your leisure. Appreciate it, Hans. I'll take a look. Best of luck. Now, my imagination would be that if you had to show down with Hansen, it would have happened in that sequence. So I'm gonna guess if there's any sort of final confrontation, it would be with Solomon Reed after the follow-up with Killing Moon. I suppose the other thing, though, is I'm not fully trusting of Songbird either. Obviously, she was willing to betray Myers for the, you know, for her chance of freedom. Care for some advice? Caution, V, especially now. After the untimely death of their master, Hansen's hounds will be tearing at each other's throats, and at any outsiders who get in their way. So yeah, I mean, after what Alex did, I was pretty sure that Hansen was dead, but never know. But I do also feel a little bad for Alex, because presumably her way out was the successful completion of that mission. I'm assuming you don't get your spy's retirement if the last op doesn't work. Alright, so if it doesn't turn out with Misty, that's fine. That wouldn't be the first time either. But I figure I can,
I saw more of those freaky murals.
Did they start making sense? Tell any sort of story?
All just a bunch of tarot cards. I'm pretty sure my brain's now beyond repair.
The tarot tells the story of a fool's journey. Show me what you found. I'll tell you what's left.
Here.
You're still missing 2 arcana. Judgment and the Devil. My guess is that they relate to a turning point in your life. One that's soon to arrive.
What's up with the Wandering Fool?
The Fool is you and Silverhand. You've traveled a long road together. Discovered your potential.
And where are we headed?
Your destination is the world. The final Arcanum. Both of you waged a war on the world. So there are 2 possibilities. Declare victory, or make peace.
Could lose the war, too.
Yes. Unfortunately, that's true.
What's this judgment about?
One possible future. Of redemption, transition, awakening. The angel with the trumpet symbolizes the end of an era. And a call to rebirth. To a new beginning.
Rather not run into the devil. Got a feeling he's bad vibes.
That's the card of primal, dormant desires. But also the will to survive.
Doesn't sound so bad, actually.
It also represents a false world. The trap these desires lay for you.
Thanks. Didn't get much of that, but thanks.
You'll understand when the time comes. I can't explain everything. All the tarot can tell me is that you will reach the world by one of 4 paths.
Meaning?
The final leg of the journey goes through the sun, the star, temperance, or the devil.
Could just die. Not even get that far.
Oh, come on. You won't let that happen. Take this. It's all I can do to help. Good luck, V. On whatever road you choose.
Hey, Misty. I happened upon some more murals. A little different, these. Can't say exactly how, just different.
Describe what you saw for me.
So, saw a hooded figure, star, pentagram behind him. Devil's dealings your area of expertise too?
The King of Pentacles. Having dealings of your own, with one who's built a rich, powerful realm through sheer determination. Someone like that. Dangerous, V. World looks different from atop a throne. Your reign is constantly under threat.
Rather deal with satanic shit, honestly. Saying I gotta be on my guard?
I'm not sure simple caution's enough. Bad fate's stronger than that. But follow your heart, I always say. Even in defeat, you'll remain true to yourself.
I feel like she just got a new accent in the middle of that.
So there was this figure seated, holding this thingamabob, like a club or a scepter or something?
The King of Wands? So, that suggests you've met a leader who sticks to his principles in pursuing his aims, or even some grand vision.
Okay, good or bad?
Well, as ever, it depends on you. The King of Wands suggests fresh opportunities, the discarding of old patterns or habits. But it implies a certain danger, too, of ruthless action and shortcuts taken. And in the end, it could demand a sacrifice towards fulfillment of some great expectation.
Saw this figure sitting there with, dunno, a goblet maybe?
Ah, the King of Cups. Oh, be especially careful with anyone you've met who this card might be pointing to.
Well, gotta be careful with everyone I meet these days.
On one hand, the King of Cups signifies understanding, emotional balance. On the other, he's the opposite, manipulation and spiritual crisis. And V, hun, the last thing your spirit needs is even more chaos and disappointment.
So, saw a guy wielding a pair of swords.
You've met the King of Swords, one of my personal favorites.
Something good?
Well, the King of Swords sees clearly and is a strong voice of reason. But when emotions run high, even reason can't always rise above the jazz. His truths are often sharp, painful to hear. Some would rather cover their ears, live a lie, if only to avoid suffering.
So I had a couple really clear. So that King of Pentagrams
And they say I've got my head in the clouds. Earth to be!
seems to be Hansen. I would assume King of Wands would be Solomon Reed, but I'm not so sure. Let me see.
Saw this figure sitting there with, dunno, a goblet maybe?
Ah, the King of Cups. Oh, be especially careful with anyone you've met who this card might be pointing to.
I'm assuming hands,
Well,
maybe?
Gotta be careful with everyone I meet these days.
On one hand, the King of Cups signifies understanding, emotional balance. On the other, he's the opposite, manipulation and spiritual crisis. And V, hun, the last thing your spirit needs is even more chaos and disappointment.
Or possibly Songbird.
So,
I'm definitely trying to
saw a
figure
guy
the
wielding
King
a
of
pair of
Swords.
swords.
You've met the King of Swords, one of my personal favorites.
Something good?
Well, the King of Swords sees clearly and is a strong voice of reason. But when emotions run high, even reason can't always rise above the jazz. His truths are often sharp, Painful to hear. Some would rather cover their ears, live a lie, if only to avoid suffering.
Sheesh, you're a real chum, Misty. Thanks. Great insights. Still not sure what to make of what I saw, though.
Well, I think you're caught between strong personalities. Warring ones, even. They all want to influence you, though not all of them necessarily know it.
Nothing new there.
Don't dismiss it, V. You've got new possibilities to explore, new paths to tread. On the way to either your salvation or doom. The choice is still yours, though. You still shape your life, your fate.
So what do I do? What's the right path?
Just be true to yourself, V. Your heart'll know the way. A life-changing event is likely imminent. Watch for it closely.
You can just give me a quick second here. Sorry, I just wanted to check a couple of timing things. Okay. So I think probably Santo Domingo is the best bet. Sorry, just one more minute. Okay. So yeah, it feels a little weird to try and do more of the main quest while there's something to wait for Phantom Liberty for. Yeah, I don't know. We'll do what we normally do. Try and fill the time until Songbird reaches out.
All good, all good. Let's go, go, go. Check the courts.
So I don't know if this is supposed to be banged up like this when I got it, or if there was an in-game car accident that made this a little easier, but I'm happy either way. But yeah, so I don't mind interrupting a trip to Santo Domingo to do these because obviously it just means I have more money. It's a little easier for me to buy an expensive car. Now, if I'm on the way to a main mission, you know, I might be a little bit more reluctant to pick some of these up. But honestly, right now, I'm hoping to fill the time, but fill the time in sort of a more meaningful way. So, like, obviously, you can just sort of hit the wait button until a quest comes up. But this is a little bit like the Elder Scrolls games. One of the things that I used to get a little annoyed by in the newer ones was I always felt that I was being put on this sort of treadmill of quests. And, like, you know, the dragons might be returning as a sign of the end times, but, oh, could you please deliver my mail? And, like, I kind of get that you don't have to do all of them, but there is just something about seeing an item inside of your quest log that makes me feel like I need to do it. But one of the things that I kind of appreciated about playing the earlier Elder Scrolls games was that there would be holidays in the world. And those holidays would usually correspond to pretty good sales on weapons. And it was actually a way to become quite powerful fairly early on in the game. I think I'm going to try a slightly more aggressive... I think I can also afford to remove the outfit. Okay, so first up, I think we'll just get rid of any duplicates. It's just a slightly more damage per hit. That's actually slightly annoying, but... Oh god, what do I even do with these? That's a start. Okay, so we can do the same thing that we did with the weapons before, which is there are some duplicates which have better or worse loadouts. So for instance, here we've got the various Achilles. Now I don't think we have a 3-slot Achilles, but I can check the relative benefits. So I'll keep these two. The SOR-22, both are 3s. Didn't give me anything unique though. Okay, on to assault rifles. So as far as the Copperhead goes, we only have one of those. We've got 3 Umbras. One of them has 2, so maybe I'll start with... No. Carry on. Both of these have 4. Oh, what do I do? Clear that one. Okay, the Kyubi, which I currently have equipped. So first of all, any that have 3 should get dropped. Now somehow... Oh, because it's an Ajax, never mind. Okay, so 2 Ajaxes. Ditch that one. All the Dians in the world. So I'll get rid of the ones that have got a single slot first. Not too many of those. Non-lethal. Yeah, I don't know. Those two seem good. Okay, guillotine. Oh, I messed that up. Okay, I think I can live with a bit of surplus. We already have a pretty wide okay, this should be good for some extra weight. None of these have 3, I don't think. Yeah. So, what have I got here? None of them seem to be non-lethal. So maybe the option here is we've got 36. Okay, they're all 36s. Alright, same story with these. Fortunately, there's only 3. This one's got 3 slots, so we'll kill these other 2. Same story with the Liberty. These are all 4s, so... And this one's got a non-lethal on it, so let's say... These 2 are gone. I'll keep those 2. Lexington looks like we have a whole lot of those. Well, not as many as I thought. Actually, possibly only 1. No, we've got 2. I actually kind of like both of these, so I'll hang on to that. For the Omaha, I don't think we have anything special. So here's what we're going to do. As always, if there's... Okay, this is a non-lethal one. So 68's my base. And then this one does 72, so... And so does this one. The new, so any 3s there? Of course there aren't. Non-lethal we've got. Don't really need the crits with ricochets, so we'll ditch that. In fact, the non-lethal one is 104. Everything else is 110. Okay, finally the revolvers. I realize this is a little tedious, but I'd rather not have to do this again. And actually, I think for most of this, it's already been decided. Yeah, so it's a question of non-lethal. I'll take that one out. Alright, so I'm sure there's probably a couple of improvements that I could make, but I think I'll be happy with these. Now I do wonder if there's a spot for me to buy a vehicle. There is. We'll run. My rationale here is kind of the sooner I buy up all the cars, the sooner I can go try and get the max for all my cyberware. It's a little silly to buy vanity stuff over something practical, but okay, so I've got 36901 is currently the top one. Okay, looks like we've got our Sidewinder. So I suppose the next trip, the next trick here, we've got 50k right now. The cost is going to be considerably higher, so what we want to do now is buy the least expensive. So we've got 73, 66. 45. Nope, 43. Okay, 43 it is. You ever wish you could buy yourself peace of mind? Well, look no further. When you get into the Merrimack MSL3, you can put that baby in drive and you just go, not a care in the whole damn world. Partly because the trunk's got enough space for a small arsenal, partly because 2 pairs of rear wheels will crush anything in your path, and if any lead flies your way, you just turn up the music and flip your middle digit. All you gotta do is click buy. I'll actually pick a favorite vehicle at some point, but for now, I'll live with whatever I've been given. I got an America flag on it. Alright, let's get back to the Beast and Me. Again, if I have a chance to steal a... That's only because they were in the way.
Roger, dispatch. Standing by for orders.
This might get interesting in a minute. Damn it.
Suspect's vehicle has been located. Details have been sent.
I didn't want to stay still, but I paid for it with a car chase. Should be able to outrun him though. Now, if we...
All units in the area, order has been restored. All units instructed to return to patrol.
If we complete the race and we don't have anything from Songbird, what I might do is try the Delamain mission. That one's a little bit of a long one, but I figure things that are off the main quest are probably fair game. I do also know that there are some side quests though, so I may also want to fill those. In fact, that's probably why Mr. Hand sent them. So I might try maybe some of the side missions first. Color.
Let's go!
Claire,
V, ready for the next race?
already here. Ready and waiting.
Want to use your own ride, or am I bringing Beast?
Beast. It's time to unleash her. Can't keep a spit-shined animal like that caged up in your garage.
Well said.
Meet there, yeah. Rancho.
Be right there. See you then.
Is this a bench?
Hey V, I'm gonna take a look under the hood before we start, see if all's okay. But stay close, just in case.
Not worried this'll get you killed.
What, today? The race? Why?
I'm not asking about just today. It could be, though. Or the next one. One after that.
Chew of mine got shocked and killed by a faulty toaster in her own kitchen. So you know, it is what it is. Que sera, sera.
Our chances, how do you see them?
Well, it's gonna be tough to beat out Luigi. And he's got Margot riding Gunner today.
Right, so...
Girl loves popping flats, but don't get hung up on it. Let it mess with your head. Just focus on the route, let me handle the entertainment. Sorry, need a minute to kick the tires before we get moving.
Sure.
Start your stallions! Come on! I want to smell that choo-choo burn! Let 'em roar! Make my ears bleed! Oh yeah, I like that! Let's count it down! 3, 2, 1!
One up front, see him? Luigi, after him! Big turn coming, cut it sharp!
I already screwed it up.
We have an 8870 San Domingo.
Roger. Requesting additional backup. Dispatch, do you copy?
Code 0. I repeat, code 0 in this area. All units. Watch our back. Moving to pass.
Dare him to try!
So I'm curious if I'm going to be able to do something to take out Luigi. I just need to race normally. That's not so good. So I'd love to be able to put some distance between me and them for my health, but I just don't see how that can happen. I just need some time for the health to regenerate. might have been a little bit of a waste, but if I can go in with a full health bar, I'll be better. So barring any surprises, we should be okay, but I do know it usually just takes one big turn, and then I wind up in sort of like the 4th or 5th. Like that. Damn it. Well, it looks like they all struggled with it too, so. Police are going to make the health part of the equation tough.
You're listening to 98.7 Body Heat, Night City's hottest. We can win this, V! Someone get me out of here!
God damn it.
All units in the area, order has been restored. All units instructed to return to patrol.
It's a little close to the finish, but we should be able to see this through. We do have a couple of big turns coming up, but
Congratulations to V and Claire!
First place, V. Oh my fucking god, we won! We're finals bound. Yeah!
Hell yeah!
Don't stop yet, okay? Move up a bit further.
What for?
Need to talk. Something you should know.
Okay.
Sit down for a spell over there, okay?
Wow. Quite the view.
Yeah. Me and Dean. We like to come here.
Wanted to tell me something?
I mentioned Dean before. My husband, yeah?
Wheel to your heat, right?
Sweetest man I ever knew. We were friends before my gender transition. Brought daffodils to the hospital. To new beginnings, he said.
Were you married long?
12 years. Dean used to laugh that for our 15th, said he'd finally talked me into my first implant. I was prepping some surprise.
Well, that's a shame that I don't think I'll try to change the character for that. But
Why tell me about Dean? Meaning, why now?
He died during a race last year. The final. Not your standard fatality, though.
What, you saying you feel at fault for his death?
Me at fault? Why would you think that? He was flatlined by a Corpo Eagle Weasel. Peter Sampson. Exceptional walking rot.
Your husband. How'd he die exactly?
We'd just powered into the final straight. Sampson peeling up the tarmac ahead of us. Was clear we couldn't win, so Dean let up on the chew. And then that snake slammed on the brakes. Dean also had to. He lost control.
But isn't that how this race works?
You don't get it. Road was clear to the finish line. He would have won. It was premeditated.
What's the Corpo's deal?
Doesn't really matter, was only ever another adversary to me. But to Dean and Sampson had a history going way back.
Something happened between them?
Dean never admitted anything, but yeah. Yeah, there was some kind of strife. Something personal to their rally rivalry. When Samson came first, Dean got hot and bothered.
You 100% sure the killing was deliberate? Not your emotions talking now?
No. Saw them argue to the crack of the starting gun. Kill that bastard.
During the race?
Folks die on the track all the time. Won't seem unusual at all. Another day at the races, in line with the rules.
And if Samson doesn't show for the race, what then?
He'd never miss a chance to puff out his chest.
Hello, Vesper. Good to see you.
Circuit champ last year. No way he'll let that go. Not try to repeat.
And me? Guess you want my help to zero him.
Killing Samson matters more than taking first. We have to make a choice. Sorry I lied to you, V.
It means a lot to you, this. So yeah. Let's bury the bastard.
Thank you. It's important. I need it.
See you for the final?
That's right. Till then, V.
How did your broadcast go? I'm trying to remember the name of the like tavern keeper game that you were playing. I'm sorry I don't recall the title. Oh.
The hell you want, Reed?
You're a disappointment, V. To me, to Saul. We could have helped her. We, together.
Was her choice, Saul.
You're helping a traitor who took a potentially lethal swipe at the NUS president's life.
Sheesh, Saul just wants to fly free, man. Leave her alone. No more tragedies, I promise.
V, this isn't something you and I can settle anymore. Songbird's gone to war, taking on our own country. We, the FIA, we're gonna find you too. You have exactly nowhere to run, V.
I'm definitely upping my cool for this. Huh. Doesn't give me the option to boost it up.
Forget already? Us fleeing, leaving you in the dirt?
True. I don't have eyes on you, but we'll see each other soon. Oh, yes, we will. And I'll expect you to mend your ways then. What's going on?
Jeez, thanks for the heads up.
Remember, you've taken responsibility for her. When we find you, when, it's not gonna be about whatever deal you two think you've made.
So I'm assuming the encounter is Songbird gets caught. Pardon me? So sorry, it's Tavern Talks, had fun, though I think you're too into the game. Oh, just in terms of the... I know you were really into the dialogue. I'm sorry, Vesper, by the way, I was a little absorbed in my dialogue. But no, that's good. I actually haven't played Coffee Talk, so I'm not 100% clear on the connection, well, not connection, but sort of the reference, let's say, or the style of game, but it was a lot of fun to watch you play it. For those of you who are not familiar with Vesper, my hands are currently occupied, so I don't have my shouting out keys. But Vesper of Fortune, somebody who I found originally through Cultist Simulator. I actually hosted him because I didn't have anybody playing Book of Hours. I believe Vesper does plan to play Book of Hours at some point, but has been doing Cultist Simulator and then all manner of variety games. Quite a few story-based games lately, although I did also get to see him do Persona 5, which was, I think, my first exposure to that game. And also very political streamer. Great love of the Republican President Ronald Reagan. The reason we read the J.G. Ballard essay on Ronald Reagan. Vesper's actually... one thing I really liked about... this is not the political thing, I just like to... yeah, sorry, I don't want people to actually come in. Oh. Okay, that's going to be hard to handle in 90 seconds, but let's do our best. But no, I definitely enjoy trolling Vesper around the former president. But one thing I've actually rather liked about Vesper's channel is there are a couple of viewers who I happened to catch in Vesper's channel. It's brutal. Okay, so I have a minute to basically do the fight, but nope, I might be able to give him the slip. Cool. But Vesper's actually done a couple of kind of educational streams. So when I watched him do sort of a video on the satanic panic of kind of the 70s or 80s, I kind of got to... It wasn't just that I got to enjoy sort of his take on that, but it was actually a chance where I got to see a few people who followed after sort of a shout-out like this, who sort of checked out what he had to say and had a good time. So again, somebody who I like to recommend for the games, but as it happens, for those of you who like the rants and such, one of the things that's nice about Vesper is that he doesn't just do a talk, but he actually does a talk that's a bit more structured. So something, you know, unlike me, where sometimes I'll ramble and I lose the plot. His is much more structured and, as a result, a little bit more enlightening. Now, I'm probably going to have to wrap up pretty soon, so I do apologize, Vesper, but let's read The Killing Moon. So, they asked you to choose, so you chose. You weren't driven by a desire to save anyone's life. Reed or Songbird both offered you treatment. Maybe you realize that no matter what your choice, you'd be betraying someone, so the best thing you could do was not to betray yourself in the process. That's why you stood by the chick who was fighting to survive, just like you. Did I get that right? Yeah, I think I did. Would I have chosen any different? Luckily, I don't have to sweat over these kinds of questions. Good luck, V. You and Songbird both need it. So the other missions that we have and what we'll be taking care of in the next week or so. We've got Down on the Street, which is main quest, so we won't do that. Ghost Town is also sort of main quest. We got to wait for Claire for The Beast and Me, and that's the last race anyway. Complete other jobs until Bess Isis, aka Nancy, is available to call. So again, we're waiting on that one. Tomorrow Never Knows. Ask Misty about the new tarot cards. I thought I already did this, but this is definitely one that I can pick up. In fact, because Vesper's here, actually, let me just take a quick second. I will get that shout out done now. Let's stop by Misty's to see if we can spot what's going on. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like heading to Misty's wouldn't be a hardship. I kind of feel like we already did it, but at the very least it gives us a place that we can start for next week. Anyway, alongside Lord Gloom and Prosciutto Fist. Now you have Vesper to add to your list. I cannot get enough of,
Backup requested in Haywood. Day like any other. Roger, dispatch.
apparently can't get enough of the police chases. Yeah, so just to reiterate, while I'm waiting on the next mission, or the Songbird call, I'm going to.
Code 0. I repeat, code 0 in this area. All units resume normal duties.
I'm going to prioritize basically any sort of talking missions like Misty. Then what I'll do is I'll start doing some of the side jobs as they emerge around the city. And then, I don't know, off of that, I'm not opposed to doing the Delamain mission, I just know it's a long one, so if I can avoid, it, it just means that I get to sort of spend the time on something else. But again, I kind of thought that we'd already done the Tarot mission with Misty, so I am kind of curious if there's more information. If nothing else, if there's just something that I can clear out of my...
We should talk. Face to face.
Could it be a gig coming my way?
Far better. I see a blank page in Night City's Chronicle. Your name is on it. The page and I await at the Heavy Hearts.
My, aren't we confident today?
This does smack of the sort of thing that Solomon might use to entice me.
What are you checking them out? Nah, Chuma mine.
Yeah, we'll see.
Used to work here, that's all. Oh yeah? When you get those kind of shoes? From way back. Doesn't matter.
Hey, Misty. I happened upon some more murals. A little different, these. Can't say exactly how, just different.
Describe what you saw for me.
So you want to say hi?
So yeah, we definitely...
Thanks, Misty. I guess. Still gotta wrap my head around this.
You know where to find me if you need any help, V.
That was easy. Yeah, I don't know. The Hands mission seems like a pretty decent way to start, but we will be doing that next week. I will confess, so it was nice nice to have, I don't know, Prosciutto Fist in and saying nice things about the stream. I do feel like I could have... well, I did wind up talking with her about a bunch of this stuff before Vesper, so I realize this probably seems a bit strange. But yeah, I don't know. I'll confess I've been feeling a little meandering and not very clear in terms of streaming. Like, I don't know. Like, in my own estimation of the stream is that the quality's taken a bit of a dip, and part of that is just because I'm sort of feeling a bit tired and just run down a bit in terms of trying to get everything done all at once. So if it's all in my head, that's great. And if it's not, if it's more of a signal of a drop, like either way, I do want to try and build up the stream a little bit more, get a little bit better. But for tonight, one of the things I can do to do that is to start getting a proper rest. So I'm going to leave it here. Thank you everybody for hanging out. Yeah. Exactly what I think, Vesper. Thank you everybody for watching. The plan is I will be back on Monday, probably for some more Dead Space. Wednesday should be another Brace Yourself game. I suspect probably we're going to handle Phantom Brigade at that for next Wednesday. And then on next Friday, we'll be back to Cyberpunk. So the usual plan is I'll be streaming Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Obviously, there's been some difficulty in terms of making the time work for just for everything. So I you know, I'm going to try and start within that 7 to 8 window as much as I can, but I do also have some realities as far as work is concerned. I don't think next week's going to be any easier. But the plan will be for the next month, I don't think there's any holidays in June, so it should only be the third Wednesday when I take a day off for Dirty Rectangles. And then in July, there'll be Canada Day at least. So there's another thing that'll come up, but I'll deal with that at the time. Anyways, Kilgore Trout is... Kilgore Trout is playing Terminator. So I will leave you in his capable hands. I think the viewership just kind of got cut in half. But I do encourage you to hang out. He is actually part of the GOG stream team, so he does have a kind of an odd relationship with Cyberpunk 2077, but he's playing, I think this is one of Bethesda's early games, but anyways, no, I think the Skynet one might be different. Well, maybe. Anyways, you can all see for yourself. Kilgore is a fellow Canadian, streamer of classic games, definitely a good guy, so I will leave you in his capable hands. I'm going to get some rest, and I hope all of you have a wonderful evening. Again, thanks for watching.